my name is Tracy Kilgore. Welcome to our Neuro-Neutral podcast. This is my co-host, Julie Olson.
Yo.
Every episode, we're going to dive deep into a different area of neurodivergence and visit what we call the neuro-neutral space. This is a space in which we can create, we can change all the belief systems that we took on as we grew up, and we can turn them into whatever we want. If you don't understand that concept, that's why you need to be on the podcast and watch
down. Guys, this is for you. Stay tuned. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Kilgore. This is my co-host, Julie Olson.
Yo.
And we are here today with a very special guest. His name is Dylan Rosner.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Dylan, I would love it if you would introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do, why you do it, and anything else that you think would be relevant to this conversation.
Yeah, my name is Dylan Rosner. I'm the founder of Nevada Entrepreneurs out of Las Vegas, and it's a social networking group for small business owners and entrepreneurs around Clark County to all get together in the same room and build connections with each other, collaborate, partner, find the next friendship. But also, I want to be building the biggest small business family Nevada's ever seen, because I think that's important. Like what Travis Brady says about having his brotherhood gatherings at his house, I think that's important here. We have brotherhoods and sisterhoods together for Nevada entrepreneurs. And long term, I want to be filling every room possible every time I book an event, like going over capacity, because of the impact I plan on bringing these people and the value I plan on adding. So why did I start it? Because I'd always wanted to help other individuals out who were struggling in other aspects of life, because I had my own struggles and traumas. And I was always trying to help the wrong people, because I was trying to help people who would take me for granted, people I thought were my friends, and I haven't talked to them since.
How did you know they were the wrong people?
Because they took me for granted and just blew me off and were disrespectful about it. And were just like, they didn't do anything. They just didn't care. But now, finding entrepreneurs, of course they care. They want to grow their businesses. They want to fix their relationships. They want to, the marriages that are failing because of entrepreneurship, because we have like a 75% divorce rate in entrepreneurship. It's insane. And
why would you think that?
Because
why is that?
I feel, just from my journey, personally, it's been hard on my husband, because I literally am like growing at such an escalated rate. People don't know what to do with you. And then it's like the person that you love is now coming into a different space, and they actually are someone different than who you married. So if you don't have communication and learn how to, find that balance, because my own marriage, it's been, like kind of like this. And we're now kind of like this right now. And so it's really great, but it's a lot of conversation, some arguments, few,
do you think
and differences of understanding each other. Because when you start learning different ways of being, like I'm sure you can relate to this, like you kind of like, I don't want to say elevated in the way that most people consider that. It's more like higher vibration. It's more like stepping into acceptance instead of fighting everything that's coming at you. You're accepting things for what they are, putting them in their place, and moving forward. And so I never really tapped into all of that until this current journey, the last 3-4 years. Same one you're on. And probably, when would you say yours started? When you really started noticing, okay, things have got to be different, because I am constantly getting swept under the rug. At least that's what I took from what you said. I felt the same. Julie felt the same. And so we had to like kind of rise up, look at it from a bird's eye view, and figure out, what do we need to do? What do we need to change?
Well, yeah, over the last year, really, I mean, ever since going to Lions Den Live 23 up here in Salt Lake, that's where I got to meet guys like the Red Suit Realtor, who inspired me big time. But also, really, I got inspired to Nevada Entrepreneurs mainly by Devin Butler and Jeremy Gene Wilson. Devin's the founder of Arizona Entrepreneurs, and he's had over 6,000 people go through his events over the last 4 years. The anniversary's happening later this month.
Which is so cool. I'm not even kidding. Like, I went randomly to that event one time in Arizona. I actually saw Travis there. Travis Brady was there. And I was just like, this is random. It was
Well, obviously it's effective if you're finding people that you already
Yeah.
have been in business circles with. So,
but one of the things that I personally do with my brain is I'm a visual learner. So once I see something, it's like, oh, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what you did.
Yeah, I mean, the events, the energy, the kind of people that came in, I knew I could bring that kind of crowd in mind. And that's what I did
Love
the first
that.
event.
Yeah.
47 attendees, 4 sponsors, 4 speakers, and generated pretty good money for just a start.
100%.
it's fabulous.
Thank you.
It really is, because my very first event was not the one with you. I had one person show up.
Yeah.
It was
Hey,
a starting place.
my first in-person event, no client showed except for one business partner, and then the speakers that were gonna be there.
Oh, same as my story.
And but then the second time, Matriarchs Rise.
Oh, and it was great. It was absolutely exactly what we wanted to have happen. Not, I wouldn't say every single piece, but as far as the connection with women and really helping them see a lot of things. I mean, we touched a lot of women. A lot of women touched my heart, made me feel empowered and like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
When I think of events, to me, the reasons why I do events is because, and this reason is what sustains me during the times I want to quit in the midst as I'm developing the event. Is that this is more than for me. This is a place to create a whole economy. That's what
About a community.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Community is huge. I would say
But she means like that. The economy isn't necessarily money either.
the community is wealth. So if
the relationship capital is huge.
but
Absolutely.
But-
with the right people.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
to kind of give you some background, so
Right.
I'm from the Navajo Nation.
Mm.
The Navajo tribe, what made tribal chief leaders wealthy was the amount of the community.
Yeah.
The amount of the livestock, the amount of the crops. And so when I started to learn that about my own ancestors and that's how they grew community, I'm like, that's wealth. So to me, how do you create an economy? How do you move money? You bring people together. You're 100% right. It's community. Community is the sustaining point of moving money. Without that, money's not moving.
Well, yeah, and to touch back on why 75% of entrepreneurs divorce, it's actually also because they don't do the weekly date nights as recommended with their wives. They focus too heavily on their business and they basically ignore their wives, ignore their children. They have a finish line mentality, which means, oh, I got married, that's the finish line. No, dude, that's just another step in your journey.
That's a starting point, honestly.
I'm sorry, but can all dudes listen to this?
Hey, just
Because
I took
Are
it
you
from
married?
no, I'm single, but I
He's
took it.
single!
I've only been living in Vegas.
Okay, put your number in here, right? Oh, my single ladies.
So I took it from Sean Whalen and Red Suit and Keaton Hoskins. They all said the same thing. So if anybody tells me that I'm full of crap, I'm like, okay, go DM them, ask them, I dare you. And then I guarantee they'll tell you, yeah, you got to schedule date night with your wife every week, dude.
You know what I
And you
love?
actually need to be present. That's the thing.
Yes.
Scheduling it and showing up is not enough. If you're not present, you're not doing it.
But you're hitting it right on the head. And I'm if my husband's listening, sorry, I'm putting you underneath. Okay, but it's. I remember one of our conversations in our marriage. This is before I joined Entrepreneurship. I remember telling him, like, did you just stop right after we got married? You know what I mean? And yeah, you could totally think of it like that. But for me, it was more so of, I need more. I want you to keep pursuing me, even in our marriage. Like, I remember we had this, it was probably like our 3rd or 4th year where we had that conversation. And in my mind, I couldn't comprehend it. But when I'm hearing it from a gentleman, and I'm hearing him say like this mentality, it's when I speak to my husband, it kind of was like that. It's like, I did reach my end game. Like, that to me was a big point in my life. So now that I've gotten my wife, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
But is that really what he was thinking? Did you have this conversation? Because this is the thing I think often we fill in the blanks, create the story.
100%.
Is it real? Is that really truly what was happening? Or might not? I mean, it seems like it.
It's
but
hard.
You need to ask questions.
It's super hard. I would definitely tell you I have asked that question, but the way my husband is as an individual is he can take days, weeks, even months to respond to a question.
Because he processes that way.
Yeah.
But it's great that is really important that we have acceptance for our partners with the way
Yes.
they process, because I need that.
Yes.
Sometimes I take months to process certain situations that happen to me, and come to find out, I am currently in the midst of getting over processing stuff from high school, from something that triggered me recently. And that brought severe awareness to my brain that as soon as something comes up that makes me feel all these sensations, emotions, that means I am stepping into emotional dysregulation. My nervous system's on fire. I need to pay attention and realize, is this what was or what is happening now? And most of the time I can trace it back to a what was, and I'm only elevated in my emotional state because of everything that happened before, not what was right in front of me. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then the other thing too about that divorce rate is that it's also because they're not present enough for their kids.
Oh,
Yeah,
that can
like
happen.
a lot of people in entrepreneurship, they focus too hard on their business, and then their kids barely recognize their dad.
So Julie says something often, and I really, really love it. She's like, strip away everything. Your money, your house, your cars, all the things that are material. Who are you?
Your accolades.
Are you still you? Because if you're not, you have a very big problem you need to look at. And anyone listening, if this is you, let's have a conversation, because you probably don't know what to do. And it's very important that you figure that out, or often you end up empty at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And that's, none of us want that. Everyone wants to love and be loved. I don't care what anyone says. It is human nature. Like,
Oh, of
that
course.
is it.
Well,
Love and be
especially
loved.
kids, they need that. Yeah.
Well, grown-ups need it too.
No, I know, but I'm saying like in the space of entrepreneurship, like, yeah, they're gonna resent you for it years down the road if you were too focused on your business and not enough on them. Like, that balance has to be achieved. Like, there's a guy I met at the Lions Den Live last year who's been a good friend of mine, who owns 2 businesses in Reno and Sparks with his wife of 15 years. They still have a strong marriage, and they're raising 2 teenagers at home. So I've asked him if he wanted to speak on my stage and touch up on that, the importance of balancing marriage, children, and business together. Because if anybody can do it really well, it's him. Shout out to Brandon and Amber Borden.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Good people.
I like to hear stories like that, because I do think it is not really talked about.
No.
And wife or husband, it depends on the situation. Like, Julie and I are the entrepreneurs in our families,
Mm-hmm.
and our husbands are corporate people. Well, not corporate, but close to that, right?
Yeah, I would just say the salary mindset.
Yeah, and so we are slowly trying to introduce them to more of a Kiyosaki kind of brain. And it's helping. It's
Sorry,
taking.
but that's so funny.
Well,
I
it's,
don't know why.
well, Robert Kiyosaki's actually, I don't know if you know who he is, and
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
like totally
The rich-
going on the like
the rich
Yeah,
dad
entrepreneur.
poor
yeah,
dad,
yeah.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
his
Gotta avoid the poor dad.
philosophies are crazy.
See,
Awesome.
it's that is so true. It's when you think about any spouse going into entrepreneurship, especially someone as a neurodivergent brain, it's like you hyphened that hyper focus. And I'm not gonna lie, I personally have literally been away from my husband for a while because of entrepreneurship, because I am trying to build. And I say trying because in those moments I was failing on my face. I was looking at improving and getting better, but I needed to do that. So I think speaking about it, I know those were definitely things I had to preface to him and saying, look, I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna need to do this. Like, are we okay? Can we do this? You know what I mean?
Good.
No, it's good that you're talking about that.
And he's like, yeah, no, it's good. Obviously for him, I feel like my husband's a massive introvert. He's home. The home base is like a safe place. Whereas for me, I crave interaction, connection, people, conversation, stimulation. And so being out and talking to people definitely fuels that. But I always find myself, at the end of the day, always wanting to ground myself with my husband. So that's what's hard, I will say, as an entrepreneur. And I can totally see that stat being that way.
Yeah. So
that's where the commitment comes in.
Yeah, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. When was your last date night with him?
Oh my gosh. I'm not even kidding. See, that's when you were talking about that, I was like, we don't have date nights.
You go to concerts together all the time.
I mean, that can count for sure.
Yes, but we're not considering that as like
it is.
But I'm not making that aware that is considered.
How about brunch
that
at Sunday's Best together?
Hey, we just did that.
Nice.
So sometimes we have.
You're good at plugging stuff.
You are. Concerts. We have a concert next week. We probably have a concert like every 2 months, I would say. Every other month. But that's also with family and other people. But just me and Darren, we haven't really gone out on a lot of dates. Now we'll go out and get like dinner together, or right now, because we're literally in this growing stage, both him and I. He's also, I told him, I says, babe, you gotta keep taking care of the house, because eventually my income is gonna exceed yours, and then that will allow you to do what you need to do on top of also taking care of the house. As we start to create this new, we will, once it gets to this new change that we're doing. And so what he's looking at doing is becoming a musician. So that's what we've been doing. I think our connection time is, we'll go down and we'll practice like our instruments together. He plays the drums, and I play the guitar.
Musician like this, or
dude, like this.
Definitely like this.
Like this, man. What music do you like, Dylan? Oh, also by the way, our husband.
Whoa.
Community property.
Yeah, no. What about him?
Our firstborn, we want to name him Dylan.
Oh,
Our boy
that.
Dylan. So I wanted to say that too.
Oh, thank you.
So good name.
Spelled
good
like
name.
Bob Dylan, like mine, or the other Dylan, D-I-L-O-N.
I was thinking D-L-Y-A-N. Is
Wait,
that Dylan?
D-Y-L-A-N. It
Yes.
sounded like you were
Yeah,
going to say DeLion.
That's my
I'm
dyslexia
like,
right over.
that's a strange name for a kid.
Or I don't know how
Kid,
to
you're
spell
DeLion.
it. Yeah.
Tell
Your
the
mom had
truth.
dyslexia whenever she was writing your name out.
I guess.
Possible.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so what music do you like listening to?
Usually I'm a big fan of like hard rock and classic rock and stuff.
Same.
Yes.
I was going to mention at my events about adding value. I was going to ask people, how many of you have been to a Shinedown concert? And then the reason I asked that is because I asked them, okay, those of you have, what do you notice about them when they play? So when they play, I'll tell you right now, I notice the pyrotechnics. Most bands don't do that. They shoot fire during the performances. The other thing I notice is Brent Smith is very good about engaging the crowd, and he really hypes them up and makes sure you're hyped up with him. Also, they make the shows so memorable. So when I'm playing either their cover of Simple Man or Second Chance, I'm like, oh man, come on. Can another show please come soon? I want to go back so bad.
Oh, we feel you.
That is the value they bring, and I want them to bring that to business.
Ooh.
So use that methodology
Mm-hmm.
in your business for your people to make them want to keep coming back.
That's very
That's
valuable.
what I'm shooting for my events, is something not exactly that crazy yet, but eventually getting them coming back. The reason I'm going to Lion's Den live on the 5th and 6th of December is because I'm going to be studying how Sean does his events and trying to note every little detail I might have missed at prior events so that I can have a smaller version of that when I do Nevada Entrepreneurs Live.
Oh, yeah.
Have a band
I
play
was
at the
telling
end.
him, this is
Yeah.
exactly how we are structuring ourselves too. It's very interesting.
Yeah, so one of the things that Tracy and I are going to be doing is a private concert event. Reasons for that is because selfishly, we want to attract people who are just like us in the professional world.
Okay.
Meaning the people who like listening to epic music.
Think about it though. When you attract like minds, you can create
You create so
massive
much.
things. Yes.
Imagine,
People pull their neck muscles from headbanging.
dude, I'm not even kidding. Let's do it. Dylan, you're there, and get this. Man, I'm telling you. Imagine you finding people like that. They understand you. They can go have fun with you. Then it's not this whole, because I don't know how you felt with your neurodivergent mind growing up,
Okay.
but what were some of the things that you felt that were quote unquote not normal that you would get reprimanded for?
Like maybe not normal from your perspective or my perspective, but from a neurotypical's
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
I don't know about reprimanded, but I definitely had trouble focusing in school on lectures. I definitely had trouble following along with notes from lectures too. Because growing up with autism, since I was over vaccinated at age 4, that messed me up for quite a while. It took like just over 10 years to recover from that.
Ooh, tell us about over-vaccinated. What?
What does that mean?
Like too many vaccines at once. My
But were they-
mom was not as educated back in the early 90s.
Nobody was.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
So it unfortunately led to me being diagnosed. And, you know, she fought like hell to get me out of that. And so did my therapist. So I thank all of them. Like, it was her, but it was a team effort. Like,
Yeah.
Beth's therapist did a great job. Like,
Wow.
my vision therapist to help me with vision therapy to get my peripherals better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also had like some great special ed therapists throughout school growing up that, you know, I can't thank them enough for everything that they've done to help me when I was a young teenager, when I was 12 and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it was a good team of people that really helped me with like learning comprehension problems to better study and better take notes. And the older I got, the easier it got because it was wearing off. Because it's like a diagnosis, but I was eating healthier as I grew up, and that was detoxing my body as well.
Oh my gosh, for sure though.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you don't remember, but what would your mom tell you that she noticed would happen after vaccinations?
You know, I don't remember that far back, honestly. I just know that the diagnosis came when I was 4, and we just had to figure out a game plan from there and just adjust. I couldn't really talk till I was 5.
Okay.
So it was just a lot of that stuff. But I had pretty decent mental acuity. Like my mom was telling me about a time that I fell off a pier into our cove and swam back, and neither of them were watching me, and it was cold outside. And my dad told me, yeah, your mom looked like she wanted to kill me. The look on her face, she was so angry. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, dude, where were you watching me, man? I could have freaking drowned if I was
Yes.
not smart enough. But okay.
Especially if the water was really cold.
Yeah, I
Or
mean, I think it
whatever
was like,
current,
I
wherever
think it
you're
was
at.
Maryland in like the middle of fall or something.
Oh geez, that sounds so
Because we
cold.
lived right on a cove.
Ugh.
I mean, Maryland's not like super far north like Maine or something, but it's like
Still cold.
it's not like down in Florida. Like, so
Right.
I was in the water, I swam back myself, and I guess I had enough mental acuity to just figure out how to get to the house and like get out of the water. Because it was just survival mode. But yeah, my dad was telling me my mom looked like she wanted to kill him. And then my mom was telling me, oh my God, I can't believe you made your way back because your dad should have been watching you. So it was just a mistake on his part. I don't hold anything against him now. I just think it's a funny story.
Of course it is.
Well, it is now, but at
It
the
is
time,
now.
being a mom myself, yeah, not very funny.
No, it wasn't funny. My mom at all. She was really pissed.
Oh.
But, you know, things happen. I almost want to say that.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, I swear, do you ever look in your life like I could have died of that as a kid if no one was what if I didn't
My
know like
entire upbringing from out the womb until I was 18. That's
Yeah.
it. Yes, lots of
you're
that.
like, how did I survive? I don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
I chalk it up to angels or something.
I guess so. Divine intervention.
Something. So I want to talk more about your experience through life.
Mhm.
And tools that you gathered. You said you had lots of people working with you and helping. So, for instance, in the look like reading,
Mhm.
what did you find that helped you to focus on the page? I don't know how you look at a page
I
when you
guess
read.
highlighting.
Highlighting.
Yeah.
as you go.
Do you
Yeah.
highlight like certain words or like a full?
Ones that stick out that I know I need to remember the most.
Okay.
Okay.
Like sentences.
Okay.
I mean, I still do that times today. Like I was reading Suited for Real Estate Success, Scott's book, Red Suit Realtor's book. Shout out Scott, amazing book, by the way. And I had to highlight so much. It was so crazy. Like there's no page I didn't use a highlighter, and I ran out of ink because he had so many nuggets in that book. It's crazy. And
That's
now I feel like I'm
amazing.
gonna have to reread it again because I'm like, holy smokes!
I love those type of books.
Best real estate book I've ever read.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's Red Suit Realtors.
book.
Sounds like we need to get.
I don't want to know what you're saying.
What was the name of it? I can't remember.
Oh, Suited for Real Estate
Suited for Real
Success.
Estate.
And it's just a red cover with like a red tie.
Yeah.
I can
No.
totally see that. I think I've actually seen him.
I have seen
cover
it,
that
and
book.
I am sad I haven't read it yet, so I'm gonna have to do that
Oh,
because
yeah.
I
we
do
need
like
to-
Red Suit a lot.
We
He's
need
a
to
great
get
guy.
him on our podcast.
Yes, we do.
We will.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
will.
I'm surprised he hasn't been on already.
I actually haven't asked him yet.
I don't know if he has ADHD. Does he? I'm assuming he does.
We'll let him answer that question.
Exactly. That's what I was just like.
Yeah.
I know he's very savvy in the business world, so
Yeah. No, he's definitely very savvy in the business world. The network he's built in like the span of 3 years has been insane. Like the connections he's built with like Renee Rodriguez and Ray Cashcare and Mark Evans and all these people. It's like, holy smokes. Yeah, I'm trying to invite him on my stage for my December 3rd. Okay, I'll just say it. I was going to announce it at my event, but if that's my next charity event, is Tuesday, December 3rd at Nevada Brewworks. And I'm trying to see if I can get him on stage for that. Depends on his schedule because he said that's the week of the 10-year anniversary of his brother Chad passing away.
right.
Ooh, that's gonna probably be hard.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, we can try a future event, but I really do want him to speak on my stage. I would gladly pay for his flight and hotel. And just because he's got so much value to add. If he was able to make a charity event, he would headline for sure because of the story of his brother. And it's a charity event, and we're talking about, it's a charity specifically about, people with disabilities. So dystonia is still quite different from cerebral palsy, but the charity that we're donating 100% tickets to in December is based on helping disabled kids get medical equipment. So like it was started by the owners of Nevada Brewworks, Jason and Lauren Taylor, who had a daughter with cerebral palsy and she needed a chair to be able to function properly. She just needed that chair. And when they found that the insurance was too expensive for getting the chair, they had to start a charity themselves. And like, okay, not only for us, but we're going to help other parents get these chairs needed for their kids. And they've
Is
been
that
playing a
something
big
they
part.
get diagnosed when they're born?
I think you can probably, but
Or is
I don't
that
know a
something
lot
that's,
about
like,
it. After
developed?
It looked to me like she was a pretty early preemie and that she had some other problems. So I think it was diagnosed pretty early for her.
Mm.
But yeah, she unfortunately is no longer with us because she passed on 5 months ago
Mm.
during a vacation in Florida. So now it's just her 3-year-old sister and the rest of the family. But they're still honoring her legacy by helping a lot of parents get the money needed for this equipment. And my first event, we donated $5 of every ticket to the charity. And then I added my own on top of it, so we sent 300 in.
Nice.
And this next event, every event's going to have a charity where I donate $5 of every ticket and sometimes a full charity event like December. But I'm making sure that small nonprofits can get their exposure, can get the help they need around my area on top of my event. So everybody that buys ticket to any event, you know that you are helping out in some way.
100%.
This next charity is going to be for dogs. So Animal Help Alliance, they specialize in helping rehabilitate abused and sick pit bulls and Frenchies. So that's the charity we're working on donating to with portions of each ticket for this coming up month event on October 28th.
That's
Awesome.
exciting.
You're doing some really great things.
Well, thank you.
I love it. So,
I have a question because
Yeah.
one of the common questions that we ask is when were you diagnosed, if you were,
4.
and what medication are you taking?
I don't take medications.
Okay.
no, I haven't needed medications. I just needed to like have a healthier, cleaner diet after the diagnosis.
Absolutely.
You
So
know-
what is your diet like?
I mean, typically what I have every day is
How did you know that was a huge factor for you?
when my mom and I tried it, we stopped having me on like the typical diet that my dad's side of the family had, which is like a lot of, you know, the high ingredient breakfast foods and
Like Lucky Charms?
well, not even just that, like even like the typical,
Sorry, Lucky Charms.
even the typical pancakes and typical syrups, not the organic or anything like that. You
Oh,
might
yeah,
find
yeah,
at Whole Foods now. We didn't have that back then. And also just the other processed foods and other gross stuff that just wasn't for my development. So we're like, okay, we're going to have salads every day. We're going to have eggs. We're going to have healthier, like more natural types of foods.
Like a whole food diet.
Just
Yeah,
going,
real whole food
just
diet.
going back to the
And I
basics.
still do that today. Like I have beans. I make shakes in the morning where I mix frozen fruit with Greek yogurt, a little bit of peanut butter, banana, and like healthier protein powders and hydration stick. That's every morning for me. And then I have beans in the day. I have like chicken and pasta, like whole wheat. I have salads like typically cucumbers, kale, carrots, and then there's some other stuff I have too. But I look at the ingredients when I buy because I try to avoid canola oil like the plague because I learned that it's a lot of sludge and it's like this overly processed stuff that nobody should be putting in their body.
Same with seed oils. I hate that
Yeah,
I found
they're
that
all
out too,
bad.
and I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, so I typically, the only oil I have is just extra virgin olive oil, like when it comes to salad or the pasta or whatever. And it's like, you got to have those good fats in your body.
Right.
But you don't want to have the seed oil, processed canola oil stuff, vegetable oil, the typical cooking stuff. Yeah, be careful. There's a lot of bad stuff out there. Like my coach, Adam Neal, talks about this a lot in the Uriel group. And I'm actually going to be on one of their calls when I'm flying back today. But they talk a lot about, like, he's nicknamed the mad scientist of the group because he does so much research. It's crazy.
That's
when
Tracy.
it comes to health.
That's Tracy.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
Before I'm even done with the sentence, Tracy's like, I already got this article pulled up. But I love that. I'm not even kidding. It's important. The reason why I asked that is because, I don't know, when was that for you? When did you notice that food was an
Age
indicator?
42.
Yeah.
Big time. I did Whole30.
Okay.
So there's a complete detox diet. I was very sick for the first 2 weeks, and if I didn't know it was because I was detoxing, I would have quit. When I got through it, I dropped 13 pounds. My body was the same size. So it was all toxins that
Yeah.
left me.
Yeah.
The clarity,
Toxins.
I was not
difference.
on Adderall medicine. My clarity was crazy.
Yeah, my
Because I have
clarity-
no sugar, no dairy, no seeds, no grains.
Guys, I'm thinking, if not tomorrow, the next day I want to start doing Whole30. Do you want to do that with me?
Yes, but I'm leaving town on Thursday, so
Well, you can start.
except for I'm going to Mexico, so
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I can start. Just know that I might
Yeah.
mess up 3 days
It's all
when
good.
I'm there.
Whole 30 tacos.
Well, that's what I do, tacos without the cheese.
Yeah.
And it's like there's corn, but it's organic
Oh my
corn. I'm
gosh.
okay with that.
I'm telling you, corn from Mexico is by far the best.
It
Okay.
is really good.
But okay, I heard this one article. I was reading it, and it was about this guy. He lived out on the East Coast. He had all these like health concerns. So this is what he's told himself. He's like, I'm gonna buy all my vegetables not from the U.S. So he imported all of his vegetables.
Oh my.
But he says not only was it cheaper, but he said he was healthier.
I told you I just went to Canada.
Oh, when I got stuck in Mexico,
Hey.
I was like, my body healed itself. I honestly consider their food heal. So in other words, we gotta, our generation, if not our generation, our time, we gotta do something about our food here.
How about
Can
the
we-
soil? That's the other really concerning part for me.
Okay, on the Navajo reservation, there's
Mhm.
tons of uranium waste. So talk about the soil. It's our whole process of what do you call it? Destroying things. That's not great too.
It's horrible. I didn't
Yep.
know that. Now it's
Yep.
another thing that will haunt me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to.
It's very sad. I don't know how you really get control of it.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be some way, guys. We take care of ourselves, but there has to be something. Come on, we can't just all blindly just.
Well, hey, 1 in 25 are diagnosed with neurodivergence today. So, I'm thinking at this rate, there'll be people like us overtaking all of the neurotypicals, and maybe something will actually happen. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, because we are very much inclusive individuals. Like, even
We
hearing
have-
Dylan, he's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to invite everyone.
But your core, most neurodivergents at their core have a need to do what is right. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And that's like, then people will say, well, why are there so many people with ADHD in the prison system? Like, that's another conversation. But they
Fatherless
still.
homes.
What?
Fatherless homes.
There's lots
That's
of
a
reasons.
big part of it.
It's like, if you go back to my decade, none of my parents were.
Fatherless
loved me,
homes, or
but-
even parents too, like maybe fatherless mother, like,
No, parents weren't around.
yeah, or
My
parents not around.
generation,
Yeah.
they were working their butts off, forgot that the kids were kids, and
I wonder if y'all's parents were the one of the latest generations that like had that mentality.
well, if I look at their parents, they didn't have parenting. That was really
Because
so. It's like
because,
they learned how to be a parent by just practicing on us.
because their parents were the children that were born that were from the Great Depression.
Yes,
So they have that mentality,
yes, you're right.
and then bringing that down. I feel like now our living generation is more of like seeing and being present and helping. Wouldn't you say?
For sure. I mean, I feel like
At least that's what I see.
my oldest this is her whole mission is supporting only those that, I mean, you have to support unwillingly sometimes. Like, you want to drive a car because you need a car to get from A to B, but then there's a lot of things that come with emissions and things, and what happens to the
It's-
earth because of the construction of the car and blah blah blah. So it's like you can't really do it all and have an effect on the masses if you aren't somewhat still engaging in some of the practices that are problematic. But
Yeah.
it's got to be baby steps for it to actually happen.
I'm just proud that Dylan, you're taking care of your vessel. I think when we ask that question to individuals, I don't think most, I shouldn't say most, I should just say there are times where we ourselves are not aware how food plays a huge factor into our lives. I come across a lot of individuals where I'm surprised where they don't think their food is a factor to
They
their
just don't know.
emotions.
They don't know.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in my mind, I'm like, how do you not know?
Well, that leads me to a question. So, do you ever have maybe a week of like engaging in all the foods that you know are going to cause inflammation in your brain?
Not a week.
No, not
Dude,
a
he's
day.
Not a week. Maybe like
a few
one
days or a
meal.
weekend or
Oh
a
my,
meal.
you are so disciplined. So,
No,
do you?
I don't like feeling like crap.
I wouldn't say discipline. I would say he's created a lifestyle that works for him.
Yes, but I do the week thing,
No, I know.
and then I
don't-
hate it because then everything is messed up. I
No,
feel gross.
But I would add to that, that's also a hormonal thing too.
well, they have hormones.
I know, but they're not. The men are more high strung on testosterone. Our hormones are continuously changing.
This is true.
So there's times where our body is going to yearn for.
That's true. So,
I think that's where the wheat comes in.
well,
When
anything
we're
that
in those seasons.
creates that connection in my brain is where the problem starts to happen. So that's why I've figured out how to make cookies that won't mess up everything else.
Oh, her cookies are so good.
Yeah,
So
there's
yummy.
not made with flour and they're not made with sugar. So they're made with maple syrup and almond flour and some other ingredients. But it's all very good. So I don't feel one bit of anything, and it doesn't affect me the way a really yummy well-made chocolate chip cookie with flour and white sugar. Those are like complete crack for my brain, as well as Oreo cookies. I mean, honestly, like once I start, I can't stop. I mean, have you ever tried an Oreo cookie? Do you have that same feeling?
I've had them, but it's like.
Well, he hasn't even had them. Don't do it.
I have had them.
Oh.
Just LA stuff makes me feel like crap.
Guys, the first time I had McDonald's was when I was a sophomore in high school.
Good for your mom.
Yeah.
Seriously. So Noah never really had it, but once in a while, when he was older. But his thing was Starbucks, K-pop. Yeah, that was my bad. Anyway.
Dylan, okay, so obviously you're taking care of your vessel. What happens when you get overstimulated or an emotion overcomes your thought? How do you like switch from that mindset into a more either productive mindset or just getting you back into like, no, Dylan, we ain't going down that road? Do you ever?
That's a good question.
Do you ever have that? The reason why I say it is because that's what I say to myself. Julie.
I mean, I know the task at hand. It's pretty easy to get back on for me because I know what I need to do to get what I want.
So would you say you don't get dysregulated very often emotionally? Because that's how Noah is. My son is this way.
Not really. You can't in this business anyway.
No, but
Not,
you're right.
Not if I'm running a group full of people that are looking like towards me.
But there's a chemistry
and there's a
inside your
reputation
body.
to protect.
Yes, but there's a chemistry inside of you
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Same with my son, and I've been trying to pinpoint it, and I don't really have the actual answer yet. But I'm curious if you realize that there's a difference there for you.
I don't know what else to say. I guess I just, like I said, I know the task at hand. I just need to focus on that.
So there's maybe your superpower is this.
Well, but let's say you don't have a task on hand. You're still
Distractions.
Okay, so
Yeah, throw off the circadian or whatever the hell you call it.
I wonder if Noah knows his purpose, and that's why it's just.
I don't know. He is.
I don't know. No one knows.
No, my son is.
It sounded like you said that.
I know it did, right?
So
I said
my son's
Noah.
name is Noah.
Yeah.
So people will literally go up and touch him,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't really like to be touched either. And people don't know that, just like you. Like he's probably as big as you are too. He's a tall.
Tracy's like, I'm gonna do it.
No, and they do that because his energy is so healing.
Yeah.
They like suck it up, and they don't even
But it's
realize
because
it.
you're it's like calm.
It's an alternative for having an arc.
Oh my God, that was
yes.
you're funny,
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
man. You got some good stuff. Oh my God, I'm making a shirt with that on it. We're gonna partner.
We
with
got
some
two
cool
cool t-shirts. Okay, I'm telling
This
you.
is what Noah's been trying to help me with t-shirts too. So maybe the four of us need to get in a room and make a whole clothing line on this. This is awesome.
ADHD t-shirt, y'all, man. We're gonna have special edition.
All dudes in
Dylan.
high definition.
Oh, high definition. We got Dylan.
Love it. So Noah actually, his grandma gave him the shirt that says, "Need an arc? I know a guy."
Okay, that's pretty good. You could say something too, like, I don't know a lot, but I know what I know.
Ooh, I like that.
That's like two Noahs. I don't know a lot, but I know a.
Oh, I
I
don't know a lot, but I do know.
You put
Okay,
the
man,
name
I
Noah
like your
twice.
brain. This is
That's
great.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously,
We could like have a little mini mastermind.
oh
here.
my gosh, I'm telling you, that in itself, we could create easily.
Speaking
something
of
here.
this mastermind, I've actually thought about doing a ski and snowboard mastermind before one of my events in Reno and like Tahoe.
Okay, I already got my snowboard, my gear. Just give me there. What do you need?
Hold on. All they have to have is either a season pass or a day pass for Heavenly, and then we can sit at the table.
Dude, there you go. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
I love that. Your events are very intentional, and I'm loving this about
Gotta
you.
make them fun.
You have
If
to.
they're not
yeah.
fun, people aren't gonna want to come back.
But it's not only that. It's like you're providing so much value for a person. When you leave an event, you actually have things to implement
Mhm.
and to do once you leave. I hate it when I go to an event and I walk out and I go, what? I just spent 2 days. I don't even know what happened.
Well, yeah, it's just lazy work. I mean, people like to sell you a 7,000 or like to sell you a $500 product for $7,000, right? It's like that's what a lot of them do. It's just let's make as much money as possible.
And that's the unfortunate
Create as much value as
potential
possible
monopoly
instead.
in this coaching industry.
That's where people like all three of us are
Mhm.
actually
disrupting.
creating
See,
a different stage.
What I like about a guy like Travis,
Disrupting.
what I like about a guy like Travis Brady is he was willing to offer us these tiers. So like tier 1, not only a call with him but 2 events. Normally, more people would charge way more than $287 for all that.
No, it's true.
But he's like, yeah, you guys came to my event for just $287. You can get access to 2 of my events and a Zoom call with me and the event videos. So I'm still waiting on the videos for that so I can finally watch my stage appearance. I've been talking to Jamie. We're trying to get that taken care of.
That's exciting though.
Yeah. So because I want to post that on my page pretty soon too, so
Yeah.
that people can see my first stage appearance where I was in front of way more than 50 people. I was in front of 200 people, impromptu, no preparation,
Heck yeah.
and I just
Hey,
had
and
to
you
let it out.
did good.
You did great. You put in your nervous system. Hey, you were nervous at that point, so how did you regulate through that?
Actually, you know what? Surprisingly, I was actually more nervous after I did it than before.
Okay, so how did you
No, that
regulate
makes
then?
sense.
Before, I just got on stage and Sam's like, "Hey, what's this about your event?" And because he's just a very energetic MC, and I'm like, "Okay, I love that energy." So I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? This is my event." And part of what helped me was I was actually rehearsing how I would promote it in my car, thinking out loud when driving. So I had a better
I do
idea
that
how
a
to
lot,
speak without
actually.
stuttering.
Same, yeah.
So I just said what I said, and then I was like, well, I'm already up here. Might as well really challenge myself and get vulnerable with these people too. And then here we are with this. So
Exciting.
yeah. And so I got a good standing ovation from them, and I had over a dozen people approach me offering to help promote my event.
Isn't that cool?
When you go on stage, it makes a big difference. Like
It
people just shoot
does.
your shot.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a big difference. You'll thank yourself later.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're not ready, just start really slow. That's
Slap
what
yourself
I had
in the
to
face.
do.
Just
Yeah.
put some cold water, boom.
Oh,
There
there
you
you go. Pour some ice over your ALS challenge right there.
Oh, hey, really quick. You touched on stuttering. So that happens to me on occasion.
I stutter as well.
When I am so, like, I'm definitely in, like, my amygdala's flipped upside down.
I have to close my eyes.
And it's usually something I am extremely affected by. Sometimes it's an argument with my husband, or sometimes overwhelmed with too much business. And I'll be trying to tell him something, but my brain, I feel like it is my brain going from left to right to left to right.
Same.
And then I start stuttering, and I'm like, anyway. Do you, when you notice that happens for you, what seems to be the reason behind it that you realized?
Because I didn't have my lines.
Like-
The better I can, the more I know what to say, the less I stutter. I mean, right now
Like that's
it's
that's the
figured out.
template.
So being put on the spot.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
I
like,
do feel like that is for me too sometimes.
So put on the
I'll black
spot is
out.
where you're like
yeah.
not thriving at your high capacity.
Do you want to know something that Sean Whalen had implemented with his people at his Lions Den Live?
Yeah,
What's that?
Just roar as loud as you can.
Ooh.
He would have the crowd. He'd be like, "All right, on the count of 3, we're all gonna roar," and then it's like video of everybody just like shouting off the top of their lungs, and it's like I could tell the purpose was about reducing stage fright with people and just getting them to get out of their own shell.
For sure.
Because if you want to grow and scale as a business, you have to get in front of people. Actually, full disclosure, my next event, I will be having 2 people from the audience do a defeating stage fright exercise. It's going to be 5 minutes each for 10 minutes total, where you get 3 minutes to answer 5 questions, and then you have to give the audience 2 minutes to ask you questions. And so I would be asking people, okay, who has the most stage fright, who needs help with getting on stage? All right, you 2. So I picked them out,
I love this.
and then I would start off, the questions would be, who are you? What do you do? Why are you here? What is your purpose? And what value can you add to the group? You have 3 minutes to answer that. And right before I start the first one, I'd say, okay, you guys have 2 minutes to come up with the answers for those questions. After 2 minutes, I'm going to call you on stage. So just get ready.
All right, I actually want to play with this here. What if I ask you these 3 questions and you have the same scenario and you could demonstrate for us what this would look like?
Yeah, let's do it. 5
The
minutes.
5 questions. Okay.
You have to remind me, who are you? What do you do?
So like, let's say I'm the host, and then you are one of the people I called out.
Oh, well, okay.
Sure.
Oh, what
I was
were
gonna
you
do
trying
it.
to say?
I was gonna do it to you, but
Okay.
now I'm all nervous.
She's like, I'm putting
See,
you on the spot. She's
I
like,
mean-
okay, not me.
Yeah, because I got a pretty good understanding. I'm the one that's gonna be.
Here, just
Some-
practice
some
on us.
skills.
Just practice. We'll be there. We'll be your pick us.
All right. So.
I actually feel butterflies, little nerves, because I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Your name is Julie?
Yep.
All right, Julie, thanks for raising your hand. So here's the thing. You have to, before you get on stage, I would be saying, all right, are you ready to get on stage and answer the 5 questions? Who are you? What do you do? Why are you here? What's your purpose? And what value can you add? And then you would say,
Oh my gosh. Okay, I got 3 minutes. Okay, who am I? I am Julie Olson. I am your wealth strategist. Why do I do what I do? Gosh, this is my okay, there's a lot of questions, so let's just say it all at once. I purposely started my financial brokerage firm because I believe that people have the birthright to live a financially free life, regardless of your age, race, and background. My career started in the banking world, and I just noticed that the system is still running today to where it's tailored to help those with a high net worth. So those individuals that are not at that caliber, how can we help them develop to that net worth? That is the community I want to help and develop because they're the main part of our economy. So if we can help them be understanding, then that changes the community, that changes the state, that changes the whole US, and it's a whole rippling effect. So, and the way I do that is by providing them education and tailoring types of strategies to that individual, because everyone has a different wealth fingerprint. Everyone looks at wealth differently. So just like how we all know we need to be healthy and take care of our vessel, it's the same thing with our finances. We all want to have financial abundance and have a good sound financial foundation. Well, in order to do that, there's just simple things to put into place. Just like when you're eating healthy or trying to take care of your vessel, there's just a few things to take care of yourself to get that result. It's the same thing. So the value I give is no pressure. It's for you, the education, and none of my services are going to cost unless you decide you want to do some sort of strategy with me. That's the difference that I am comparable to the standard brokerages and banks and financial institutions that are out there. And that's what sets me apart.
all right, and where can people find you so they can inquire about a consultation call or following up?
So, you guys can easily follow me on my social media if you want to learn more about who I am and what I do. Or if you're looking to have a financial consultation, that's where I could show you my link that would go to my calendar, or you can easily contact me via phone.
All right, great stuff. Let's give it a hand for Julie on stage.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I introduce myself?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. You didn't forget one question either.
Did I? I don't know. In my
You
mind,
were
I
on a
was
roll.
like,
That's
That's
great.
good.
I feel like
Yeah.
I lost.
And
two
I'd have them on a
questions.
slide too.
Oh,
the
would
5
you?
questions, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Ooh,
So
Tracy, you
I
gotta
would-
do it.
I'd say,
sorry.
anybody have any questions for Julie? And then that's where we go on to that. And then when the questions are done, say, any more questions? We good? All right, one more round of applause for Julie. This was a tough thing she did. It's not easy to conquer our stage demons. And then we just welcome the next guest. And
Okay,
same
let's
thing.
welcome the next one. Oh, I want to know Tracy's. Dude, we're getting this in the system, man. All right. Now you're on the next system.
All right. Tracy, you ready for the 5 questions? Who are you? What do you do? Why are you here? What's your purpose, your why, and what value can you add to the group?
Okay, so my name is Tracy Kilgore.
Mhm.
I'm a real estate strategist. I love to help people step into the game and then stay in the game. Meaning, first-time home buyers, and then if you are willing to take a step further, moving into investments and property acquisition so that you can build wealth in that way. Now, that is one of the things I love to do, but my most high passion ever in my life and being on this earth is tackling neurodivergence and the dialogue surrounded currently. It's starting to evolve a little bit, but we need a lot more change. We need people to realize what a neurodivergent brain is. It's a different processing system. It is not what you all think it is, and I am really passionate about educating one person at a time, audience at a time, wherever I can get my opportunity. You start me talking on this and I will talk forever. Because there are so many misunderstood parts of how our brains work. And it's unfortunate because you miss out on some really, truly amazing people because you discount them because of a stutter or something like a little blackout and because these are the things that can happen in the brain, but it's not like what's the word? It's not like a life or death situation. It's a moment in time where something happens and they just need a little pause and then they go right back to what they're doing. And when you tap into a neurodivergent focus, hyper focus, like I'm learning a lot about Dylan's currently, and he is in the zone. Like I can see what he's creating and what he's doing, and he is so masterful at what he's crafting. It's pretty beautiful, and I can't wait to continue to watch. I mean it though. Like
Seriously?
I'm just like you sharing some of the things, and like you already have this whole interview with the two people so down that when you display it on stage, it's going to be seamless. So this is what it takes to be a speaker. You have to practice. There's maybe one or two people who get up and they just start talking and it's seamless and perfect. But most of us, we have to actually practice because when we're behind closed doors, it comes out one way.
And it's the body disconnect with our neurodivergence. So
that is
that's what I would say.
Huge topic.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas like my brain's going here, my body, I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere else. But yes, definitely. And this is where I start to get off track because I start talking about ADHD and all the things that happen with it and being neurodivergent. So my passion is there. And what I want to bring to the table for the masses is awareness, is knowledge, is the realization that most of us don't know squat. I'm trying not to use bad words.
Yeah.
It's a very big challenge for me. But once we all realize we don't know anything, we all know something. But when you look at the vastness of what there is to know, that lives in that space of possibility I always talk about, we don't. And so actually I'm going to call him my mentor. He's really my friend. Like I don't pay him money. We just talk about stuff all the time. But he said, this was 2 days ago, he said, what I've found is a good question to ask is, where am I wrong? And I was like, oh, that is so good because instead of going like, I'm right, imagine, because I don't know really what the perspective is of someone else, right? I think I know, but I'm basing that on my sensations I experience in my body, my feelings that I have, not necessarily what's actually going through their body. So to check yourself and ask, why am I wrong, makes you really stop and think and give the opportunity and the space for that person to feel the way they feel. And this was eye-opening for me. And this was like 2 days ago. Like I was like, wow, that is a whole nother level and element of what I need to be stepping into so that I allow so much more space for others.
Yeah.
It's super important because there's like, Dylan, there's so much magic in you. I cannot wait to watch it all unfold.
Seriously.
Appreciate that.
And I know I didn't answer all my questions because I knew I was going to do this.
Hey, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Okay, so it was
These tornadoes bring
What's
it
the
all over
value?
the place.
What's the value? What do you?
Yeah, what value can you add to the group?
Yeah.